Hey, what's up, 745ers, guy in New Zealand? How you feeling, Katie?
I'm feeling like energetic. How about
Energetic.
you?
Wow. I'm actually feeling very calm, oddly enough.
Look at us. Okay,
Yeah.
opposites. Well, yeah, this episode of the 745 podcast, we're going to be giving I don't know, everyone's been talking about it these days. I've been seeing so many people on the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, everyone's speaking on this, but we're going to give our little vibes of it. Male loneliness epidemic. It's a word that's being
Yes.
tossed around constantly all the time. So we're going to talk about some things that may have caused it, how we're moving through the world with it, etc.
hmm
Let's go. Okay, what do you think your first cause is? You can go first on your first cause.
What do I think the biggest cause of the male loneliness epidemic?
Biggest, yeah.
Honestly, sometimes I feel like there aren't like enough like open options
Mm,
for guys to be social, you know? Like I feel like the biggest place is at work, you know? And even then it's just like it's still work. But also I thinking like outside of work, you know, like probably the gym. But even now I feel like there was kind of a wave of like,
mm.
it's like guys can talk to like other guys, but maybe not other girls in the gym because it's sometimes seen as like kind of creepy, you know?
Yeah, let me push you back on that one. It's not that there's not enough spaces that guys are like hanging out with, is that there's just like better options that people, or not better options. They're like more easily accessible, and like the guys like these options more that are all online. I am all for social media somewhat. Zach and I are always on opposite sides of this, but I think male loneliness epidemic, it is crazy because it's the phone. We're in a phone epidemic. Is my male loneliness epidemic, change male with phone. Phone
Yeah.
loneliness epidemic. Because there's not just a loneliness epidemic in terms of men, there is like an also semi loneliness epidemic with humans in this generation. Millennials, Gen Z, we're just really going through it right now. And I think it can all be brought back to the phone. The phone has many problems with it. First one, there's too many other things to do on the phone that are easier for you to get done than to do them outside.
Mm. No, I 100% agree
Yeah.
with this actually. And I was reluctant to like mention it
Mm.
because I mean I had a kind of gut feeling that it would come up,
Yeah.
but no, I 100% agree that the phone, yeah, it's the convenience, but also it's just like it's like you don't have to show your actual self, you know, you can just
Yeah.
type. You can type almost like how you want to be, you
Yeah, and you
know?
can catfish your way through life. You can just not be responsible for your own person. Like you
Exactly,
can
yeah.
just yeah, my thinking is like I always thought like why don't they just become the person they want to be? But it's so much easier if I can not go to the gym and not put in the work and look the way that I do and not like speak in person and go up in person to somebody because that it's hard for our brains and body to like want to get done, especially if we're more introverted.
hmm
So, bro, like obviously I can just be whoever I want behind a camera and just like play attractive, play good speaker because I don't have to speak out loud. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it brings a lot of convenience to the game.
Also, I mean, something that's kind of interesting on this note, and it's like, I'm not saying that like just because, maybe guys aren't like dating as much that they're necessarily lonely. Like, obviously, a big part of that is having friends, but on the dating apps, it is rough for like guys. Like, if you're just an average guy on the dating app, it's like, it's kind of rough because, like, obviously, all the girls are just going to use their swipes on the most top tier
Attractive,
guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because you have
And,
endless. Well, I'm wondering why or if guys do the same with girls, or is it not like I don't need the top tier if it's like mid and good enough? Like I'll just swipe because why not?
yeah,
Like
I
I feel
think,
like maybe guys are giving out more chances. I don't know. I've
yeah.
never.
And also, I mean, the thing that can do to someone's ego is like if you're like swiping on every
I know, and you're getting
girl
nothing.
and you're getting, yeah, I know that's like
Dating apps
that's
are hard. I
yeah.
think it's gotten made things really hard.
I think people need to start like. I mean, I mentioned this kind of in a earlier
Hmm.
podcast, but I think like we should sort of normalize just a little bit, like talking with just other people in like shared spaces. Like if you're at the gym and you see another gym bro, like I think it shouldn't be abnormal to start up a conversation, and then from there, like you can build a connection. You know,
Yeah.
like for me, I'm thinking like I'm in like a guitar store, and like or actually this happened. I was in Guitar Center and this one dude was playing this one song that I really like. I was like I hear that. Like, that's so cool. And like,
Yeah.
we sparked a conversation, and like, I mean, we're not still friends, but if I needed a friend, I would keep talking, you know?
Yeah. I think getting out of the house is becoming an increasingly bigger problem for men, mostly because we have a huge wage gap regardless in terms of women getting paid less. But now we have the women having way more jobs than men and women are now more like saturated in colleges than men, in grad school,
Mm.
in med school, in law school, all there's more women than men because there are less and less usually male focused jobs, less building, less, I don't know what else is a male job, but like there's less of that because we have robots and machinery and we're outsourcing it to like China and other places. And so there's less male jobs now. So now they're competing for all the other jobs too. And I don't know, I was looking up and I don't really know the reason why, but no one's going to school anymore. There's more male dropouts than like ever before. I don't know what that is.
Also, I mean, that's a really, really good point. I feel like also now, especially with the phones, there's more like almost vices for men.
Yeah.
Like online gambling is a huge
Mm-hmm.
problem for guys. And, it's like like I think I mean obviously some of the attraction of like playing poker and gambling is,
Yeah.
winning. But
Yeah.
like for me when I play poker with my friends, like I just like sitting around hanging with my friends. Like
Yeah, because you're making jokes, talking.
exactly,
Yeah, you can't
exactly.
do that on the phone.
No, you can't. You can't. And it's like, but also though, another interesting point is that like people will report having friends, but still feeling lonely. So
Mm,
I have a feeling that it's like they have like a bunch of guys will have friends on like across like gaming consoles,
yeah.
but like maybe it's like only until they meet them in real life,
Can they feel
that
less alone?
exactly. Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, I guess like yeah, getting them outside the house is like apparently this like huge problem because more
Mm.
men are living with their parents until 40 years old. Whoa, that's like the new like range. People are not getting their own homes till 40 because they don't have jobs to get the homes, and then you can't get them outside the house because you can do a lot of things that like that are your vices at home.
Mm.
And you can do
Yeah.
it alone in your room. Speaking of dating, so I was just bored and I was on TikTok and I just saw this video. It's like an hour long on Wall Street Journal's Free Expression. And basically they were interviewing these women who have been studying, they have gender sexuality degrees, but what they've been studying is what the hell is happening with the dating in Gen Z and millennials. And they've been doing all the research so that all like you see all these like divorce lawyers, Scott Galloway, all these people are like quoting these numbers. These are the women who got you those numbers. So basically, no one's there's just like a recession of people in relationships, period. And there is, for example, I think they said like it's not just that they can't get a date, they don't want to date. And this is actually like a more female problem that like women are not looking for anything, don't want anything. They're good with no boy, no man, no partner. And so I think it was like they did a data set thing, and it was like 10% of men in like or 14% of I don't know, I think it was 10% of men in 2010 were not dating, not looking for relationships or whatever. Or oh no, oh actually sorry, I'm messing this all up. In 2010, 10% of men had not had sex in the past like I think it was 1 or 2 years at all. No game, absolutely. And then it went up in like I think this 2024 to like 14 or 15% of men. And they actually had to
Wow.
clarify because so many men were answering differently than what they understood are not having sex with another person. They were counting masturbation as like sex with or like AI, whatever. So then now we're seeing no one's having sexual relations with other people. We have to clarify that now. And no one wants to. They don't want to. It's not even like they just don't want to because they're getting everything they want right there. They don't have to work for it. They don't have to pay for it. Like if you think about it, back then you had to get ready for a date. You had to ask someone out on a date and like
Hmm.
spike up all your fight or flight nervousness because you have to talk to somebody else. Then most guys, have to pay for said date. You have to put a lot of effort in to just have to be with one other female. Now there's no effort, and isn't that so much better? No effort. So that's why we're having real dating problems.
Yeah. I mean,
The
also
phone.
it's funny that you mentioned that as well. It's like also it's like I mean, pornography is a huge issue in like the male community specifically because
Yeah.
also it's like I mean, there's like so much exploitation going on there,
Yeah.
which is awful. But B, it's like the thing that it does to your like psychology and like the way you think is
No, I lost it.
the way you think after like chronically watching something like that is
Yeah.
just it's just really terrible. And also it's like the thing is like there's no it's like you're getting all this pleasure, but it's like it's so accessible, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like it's just like hitting a dopamine button
Mm-hmm.
literally with your finger.
Yeah, and that's how it
Um,
becomes addiction. It's like
e-
drugs.
exactly.
Yeah.
And also it's like it's probably very difficult to look at women and actually speak with them after like, you know, you only know them through a screen, you know?
Yeah.
Like how can you like picture yourself with someone else if you only see them with someone else on another screen, you
Exactly,
know?
exactly. Yeah. And more to that phone thing, going out and pushing yourself to speak to someone you've never spoken to before and like you're not even that confident in yourself. The problem with the phone is that they become a new form of censorship in that anything can be recorded, anything can be filmed. If you get rejected and someone filmed that, that's going to live there forever. It is on
Oh
earth
yeah.
forever. Your rejection lives there forever. And that's obviously so frightening. How can you like shame someone for that? Because that is so scary. So yeah, the phone is a huge problem. Yeah, I'm becoming like slowly anti-phone. It's just so
I know, I know. I was thinking about it, and it was like I always think about like in like the pre-phone eras. You know,
Mhm.
it's like one like everyone would just like call each other, and then they'd meet up, and it's like you'd kind of have to meet up because otherwise, like your the other person's just gonna be waiting there. It's like you can't send them a text like, "Oh, sorry, I can't make it." You know,
Yeah.
it's like there's that. There's also like I mean, this is unrelated, but like, how did people not get lost without
Yeah, yeah,
GPS? That
exactly.
makes zero sense to me. That makes zero sense. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I think though also one of the largest things about this male loneliness epidemic is this new like hyper modern definition of masculinity,
Mhm.
and with that there is a polarization. So that it's like, and I think that like a part of it is like women have like absorbed it too in a sense, in the sense that like you have your hyper masculine guys who are like absolutely shredded, making like six figures a year, you know, super finance bro, like, you know,
Yeah.
has a great house and super fast car, you know, and then you kind of have these like almost like incels who like, you know, like you've been saying, like don't leave the house, blah, blah, blah. And it's like so much easier to go to the side, but I think it's like people don't realize that there's an in between, you know?
Yeah.
And
We're
it's like,
so good at extremism. Like yeah, like we're just
yeah,
like so good at it. Yeah.
exactly, and so it's only really going like this, so I think if we can and this is fine, okay, but I think we can also, like, if I had another hand, like, you know, I would, like, go like that, you know, it's like
Yeah.
there's a middle ground, you know, and
Mhm.
it's like I mean, honestly, something that's I've thought about a lot, and, like, I wouldn't say I necessarily struggle with, but I, like, think about it a lot. It's like, yes, do I wanna make a lot of money and be super shredded and, like, have a nice car? Like, yes, the same time though, like those like hyper masculine guys like seem very intense and like just not the kind of person
Mhm.
I want to be, you know? Like, but also at the same time, it's like how do I like still be masculine and present masculine characters without, you know, like without having, you know, the 6K income and the 6 figure income and you
Yeah.
know, all the fancy things. So that's sort of what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. That makes yeah, it just makes a lot of sense that like you only have two types of people you can either be in extremely intense like introvertedness and having a problem with connection or extreme masculinity where like it almost seems a little performative, but we won't get into that. But like, yeah, it's just like very intense. You can't pick like a middle ground. And another thing with like this hyper modern version of masculinity, like the super wealthy, whatever, shredded, whatever, is that especially in the wealth sense, is that like there's so many wealthier people like out there, and you can just say that that's like the standard of it. But the another thing that's going wrong with people is that like no one's dating younger anymore because they want to be financially stable themselves or have
Mm.
someone who is balling in dough. But obviously that takes a lot of time to be able to get to balling in dough, and they're waiting not forever but a long time to meet that person at when they're already both at peak. When
Yeah.
we used to date in like older times, we'd both be but we'd work, we'd date, and then we'd all go to peak together. Now everyone wants to just like we're all on our separate peaks, and we'll just like pray that we meet each other up at the separate peaks. But like
Mhm.
we no longer want to grow together, move together, do things without like financial stability on our own. Another problem I will say is that like a lot of people are saying this. It's said in a joke, but it's kind of scary that it's like a very real thing. For the first time, like Gen Z women, they don't have to depend on a man for anything now. We're allowed to do, and like it's socially acceptable and allowed in all the systems for us to make money on our own. We could be on our own, and that's finally an option. Like we don't have to be with a man for survival. And now no one's dating, and that feels like obviously a weird correlation causation situation. But yeah, it does beg the question, like, what is going on? Like, what? It's not like that, like, men are to blame for the systems that are putting them in this place, but like, how can we help them out to get them out of this situation? Because shit's
Hmm.
bad. It is so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so
It
bad.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's one of those issues that are like really complex to solve because there are so many factors that like
It's so systemic. Yeah.
yeah, there's like so many factors that like are sort of indirectly related, but also like direct like they're like somewhat directly related, you know? It's like they could affect other things, but they specifically also affect, male loneliness. And so it's like, yeah, I think the best way to sort of like fight male loneliness is like each guy like I think should look within their community more. Like honestly, I one of the greatest things I've ever seen is YMCA pickup basketball because all these guys like I mean they have their regular groups and stuff,
Yeah.
but at one point all these guys were pretty much strangers,
Yeah.
but they can come together and, play basketball. They can, do something that they enjoy
Mm-hmm.
together, shared interest that's like something that's healthy, physical, And so just like taking the little steps to break the barrier of getting, out of your house, out of your comfort zone, meeting with an old friend, one old friend, two old friends, making one new friend. It's like this is why like I feel like I encourage people so much to like find things they're interested in. It's
Mm-hmm.
because like it's so much easier to meet new people and like bond with them over things if you have an interest. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just like the weather's nice. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it goes past that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess also just and I think
Mm-hmm.
like the last thing I'll say is like when you are trying to make a meaningful connection with someone, like
Yeah.
asking deep questions, it's like it's pretty important, but it's like there's always like a time and a place as well. And it's like you can just say like, oh, ask deep questions, but it's like the way to act. Like I watched this, it's the same like TED talk that I
Yeah.
watched earlier about like conversationalism,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like asking a deep question changes it from like what was it like to how did it make you feel?
Mm.
You know? And
100%.
so it's like you don't have to ask like a deep question like, it's like what would you do if you were like a worm for the rest of your life? It's like you can shift the conversation to more like how did that make you feel as opposed to what was that like?
Yeah. I think, yeah, 100%. Going back, I think we have to revalue community. There's this whole thing about
Mhm.
loneliness maxing. You can live life on your own for women and men. Like, you don't have to have connections because you can financially support yourself. You can have babies by yourself. You can do whatever you want by yourself. I think you have to go back and like value being with other people, different perspectives. That's another problem we have, obviously, in politics. Valuing other people and like wanting to be around other people is like, I don't know. It like having friends humanizes human beings. Like you
Yeah.
don't just see them as like enemy or like I don't know, like boss. You see them as like, oh my god, this guy Dave, he's a real human being. So that is like the problem. We need to just value community. Have it's also some point like childhood. Like I was reading this book for moms about like have your kids play outside with other kids, no iPad. 100% agree.
100%.
But if you're already a teenage boy, what do you do now? Go out and try to be. I understand it's difficult, it's hard, but go out and try to meet other people. When you do your summer program, talk to other people, stay friends with those people, go play pickup basketball, go swim, I don't know, go surf, go have a job and make all those friends. Just try to get out of your house, out of your screen, and see other people. Or the guy on your screen, ask him, do you want to be friends outside of just the screen? Let's be friends outside of the screen.
Yeah.
That's like infinitely better.
Be
Yeah.
careful with that one obviously.
Oh
Like
yeah. Yeah.
it
Safety first.
yeah, safety first,
You
but
never know who's behind that screen, so safety first. Definitely.
yeah. I mean, but also to Katie's point, like if you
Do your
know
due
it's another,
diligence.
like if you're an adult and it's another adult, like that's fine.
Chill.
You
Yeah.
know.
Just watch out if you're a kid. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't even be on the screen with them. Anyways, yeah, point being is like community is essential and we're becoming more separate and alone because everyone thinks they can do it by themselves. It takes a village, it takes a village. The man is
It
not
does.
an island. Man is no island. So walk in, keep on keeping on,
Keep
and
on
make some
keeping on.
friends.
Make some friends.
Make some
Yay.
friends.
We'll be your friends.
Yeah, if you're a teenager.
Yeah, if you're a teenager.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. Bye.
All
Keep
right.
on keeping on.
Thank you. Bye.